Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So this was a video someone actually requested, and I was gonna do it at some point, but I figured I'd do it now. The Magic Cavaliers game starts in about 30 minutes, and I wanted to talk about, like, I guess the Knicks Pacers series predictions, I guess you could say. You know, what I think is gonna happen, and so on and so forth. And I'm gonna be honest, this is a series that I believe could go to 6 or 7 games. Right now, betting odds are about 50-50, which is pretty shocking considering I think that the Knicks maybe have more talent, but I think we are the better team, and not by a whole lot, though. Not by, like, and what I mean by that is we're a team that, like, when we dictate pace, we can generally win. And I honestly like the matchup against the Knicks a whole lot better than I do like the matchup against the 76ers. Mostly because the 76ers they're a kind of an in-between team. You know, like, they can play fast break basketball, but they can also play half-court ball. Now, I do think the Knicks are a better matchup for us than the Bucks were, if I'm being honest with you, because that was one Giannis Antetokounmpo away from being a series that could have been really shitty. I mean, granted, we beat them during the regular season with Giannis, 6 out of 8 times, but that was a series that, being that it was our first playoff experience ever, having Giannis in that series might have made a difference, but it's just the idea, we're playing the Knicks, and the Knicks have one flaw. And that flaw is that they rely on Jalen Brunson right now to take about 35 shots a game. Jalen Brunson is averaging, I think, anywhere from like 40-plus points a game in the playoffs right now, but that's because he has to take that many shots for them to have a chance. Everybody's saying you got to watch Josh Hart, you got to watch Deuce McBride. There are certain things in this series that I think the Pacers are absolutely going to have to do well. And unfortunately, like, they're all things that we don't do really well at all. The first one is rebounding. Isaiah Hartenstein, Mitchell Robinson, these guys on the boards are probably going to get their way. I'm just going to call it what it is. Like, we don't have size. The Knicks have size. The Knicks are a gritty team. They like to play half-court ball, and they play physical. They're a very good defensive team. However, I think when you up the pace on them, you can win. If you play solid defense and you try to run them out of the gym like you did to the Bucks in, I think, Game 4, you have an opportunity to win this series, but you'd have to do that every single game. There's going to have to be a lot of adjustments made. I would argue that if you can somehow get Jalen Brunson out of the game and just limit the damage that Donte DiVincenzo can do to you, you can win this series. Josh Hart is playing out of his mind as well. Deuce McBride has been playing very well. The Knicks as a whole, it's crazy to say this, but I think they've been playing better without Julius Randle than they did with Julius Randle. But this is a series where the Pacers are really going to have to bear down in all departments. They can't commit stupid turnovers. They can't have off games. Like, that's one thing about this team I've noticed is, they have like one game every 5 games where the whole fucking team just doesn't show up. They don't shoot well. They don't play defense well. They commit turnovers. They don't do fucking anything well. And one of the other things they're going to have to learn to do, because Game 5 of the Bucks series was very telling, is learn to keep their composure on away games. I understand Game 5 was a closeout game and it was away, but the team was very obviously rattled in Game 5. Now, I understand that was their first closeout game ever, but they're going to have to grow up really fucking fast. I think Miles Turner has the ability to be lethal in this series, not just good, but lethal, being that Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein don't like to defend out at the three-point line. And Isaiah Hartenstein's a guy that it seems like he bites on every pump fake, especially when I saw him playing against Joel Embiid in the Sixers series. I was like, yeah, Isaiah Hartenstein, good player, and he's decent around the basket, but if you can get him out at that 3-point line, and with Miles being able to put the ball on the floor a little bit and get by guys and stuff like that, Miles Turner is going to be a very, very key piece during this series against the Knicks, because he's capable of stretching the floor. I also think Pascal Siakam's going to be very, very big. Just being able to step out and shoot the three, and like there are certain, our starting lineup has good size as far as Siakam and Miles Turner goes, but when you start getting into the bench, it's like Jalen Smith and Isaiah Jackson don't really have the greatest size, but they're guys that if they assert themselves, they could be. I'm a little worried about Isaiah Jackson. TJ McConnell and Obi Toppin played their asses off against the Bucks. Hopefully they continue to do the same against the Knicks, and I feel like this series is where Tyrese Halliburton is also going to hit his stride. I think we're going to see all NBA first team Halliburton again in this series for multiple reasons. The first being obviously the Wally Szczerbiak comments that happened a year ago, where he was saying, Tyrese Halliburton's a wannabe all-star. Granted, since then he has come out and admitted that's not one of his better moments in his broadcasting career. But there's also a debate. There's also a very big debate about who's the best point guard in the Eastern Conference, Jalen Brunson or Tyrese Halliburton. I would argue Damian Lillard's also in that conversation, but not this past season. In the regular season, it really hasn't been too much. But there's a serious debate of who's the better point guard, Jalen Brunson or Tyrese Halliburton. I feel like Tyrese Halliburton's going to take that a little personally, and I feel like so is Jalen Brunson. We have an opportunity here to see one of the greatest point guard battles of the East in a very long time. But the Pacers really got to come out. The Pacers got to dictate. Like, I'm going to call it what it is. They got to come out and they got to dictate. They can't just do what they did against the Bucks in two of those games, where they just like, oh yeah, we'll let you guys dictate the pace. We'll let you do whatever you want. They can't have moments where they, look rattled, and so it's probably gonna happen. I'm just gonna call it what it is. Like against the Knicks, being the idea how crazy the Knicks fan base is, it's probably gonna happen. This is not gonna be a series where anybody gets swept. I'm just gonna call you that right now. Like there's people out there saying like, oh, we're gonna sweep, we're gonna sweep the Pacers, we're gonna sweep the Knicks. I don't think we're gonna sweep them. This is a series that will go, I think, to 6 or 7 games. If it ends in 5, I would be very, very shocked. Just because both teams are kind of on the same spectrum. I'm really hoping I see more Jalen Smith this series as well. Andrew Nembhard's got to keep doing what he's doing. Andrew Nembhard's been phenomenal in the first round against the Bucks. We're gonna have to see that defensive intensity against the Knicks. Tyrese Halliburton's gonna have to play defense better. This is gonna be. I feel like this series is really gonna be determined on defense, not so much offense. And the Knicks have all the right pieces. It's just, I feel like the Knicks are a team that if you can make them get out and run against you, just like we did with the Bucks, we win games when we play our style of basketball, which is fast break basketball. When we try to play everyone else's game of half-court, one-on-one isolation ball, we don't win. And one other thing I'd really like to see in this series is ball movement. There's been a couple games in the regular season where we have slaughtered opponents just based on ball movement and everybody getting open shots and stuff like that. I look for that again in this series, and hopefully more often than not. This team in the regular season proved that, when they got it going and they got it clicking, they really got it clicking. So there's a lot to really unpack with this whole series. It's going to be a dogfight. I'm just going to tell you right now, like, this is not going to be a series that's going to be gentle. Let's put it that way. Like, this is going to be some physical basketball. It's a rivalry game. I think the Pacers-Bucks rival is officially a thing after that first round playoff series. But the Knicks-Pacers rivalry is as old as I've been alive. So I expect this to be a game where both teams come out at each other's throats. I feel like both crowds are going to be, and same thing with at Gamebridge. You know what I'm saying? Like when the Knicks play in Gamebridge, because of how old this rivalry is, it's going to be fucking loud. So all I'm saying is going to be a really good series. This is the series I was actually most excited for. I was kind of hoping the Knicks would beat the Philadelphia 76ers, especially after the way I saw how we played the Bucks and how we made adjustments and stuff like that. But it's still, a 7-game series first to 4. So, yeah, Ben Shepherd's going to have to step up. Isaiah Jackson can't get sunned by Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson. Like, he's going to have to assert himself. Hopefully we see a little bit more Jarris Walker in this series. I think we're actually going to see less of Jarris Walker, but you never know. This is, like I said, this is going to be a series dictated almost entirely on defense, so we could see more Jarris Walker, but this is a series where everyone's going to have to show up. We did beat the Bucks twice because Siakam went fucking crazy, and I feel like also if the Pacers can figure out the pick and roll game between Tyrese Halliburton and Siakam in this series and get it where both of them are dropping about 20 points apiece, I really like our chances to win it. So, anyway, that's it for me. Tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on this. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.